Live right now on YouTube. This is live. This is not being broadcast on Odyssey Radio, but I do want to introduce the show the same way I do as if it was pre-recorded or you were watching it, listening to it over on Odyssey Radio. And that is, folks, hi, this is Scotty Roberts. This is my show. This is the Intrepid radio program right here tonight, not on the Odyssey Radio Network, but which you can find Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time over at Odyssey Radio, ODYSY1.com. You can go on over, see all the goodness that's Odyssey Radio, find this show in its audio format, and some of the other places where you can listen to the show in the archives, only in their audio format. Or you can come here where we are broadcasting live right now on my YouTube channel, and that's youtube.com/Mr. Scotty Roberts. And if you come over right now, if you aren't here, well, this is the only way you can hear the show tonight. So you got to be here already. So I want to thank you. If you're not part of the chat room, come on into the chat room. Don't just observe. Come on in. Give your 2 cents worth. Join this lovely crowd of Intrepids and put your 2 cents worth in. And I do want to say good evening to some people. Matthew Sainsbury, you're the first name I see over here as I glance over to the chat room. Good to see you here. Hope you're doing better, brother, with the loss of your father, and things are starting to get better after a couple of weeks. So it's good to see you here again. Siani Reese, good to have you. And you got your grounding candle in the mail today. It smells like Christmas. I like that. A grounding candle that smells like Christmas. Do you ever notice in the summertime when you run across certain scents that smell like Christmas? They smell like the holidays. The smell of the holidays for me is things like cinnamon and apple. I smell the cinnamon and it reminds me of Christmas. Cinnamon, a little bit of peppermint thrown in there, maybe some pumpkin spice, rum, where's all the rum? And, those are some of the smells of Christmas and the holidays for me. And so, where am I? Matt Finn, I was going to say Mr. Finn, Master Finn, good to see you here. I missed a beautiful lady with a tough attitude tonight in Stucci's Streamfield. Didn't see it tonight, guys. I was so bound up today doing some other things. I didn't see Rocky's show. And you'll have to fill us in, Matt. Party people in the house. Susie Q, good to see you. Field Guy, nice to see you. You're here too. How about that? Barry Chad, good to see you. Doug Stack, nice to see you didn't sleep through this one, Doug. I can give you a little bit of shite. You give me some. Let's see. Steve Clark, glad to see you. Always glad to see you in the chat room. And let me go backwards here, see who's here that I may have missed, if anybody, at this point. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. It's going to be Steve Clark and just you, your 2 dogs, and your 2 horses for Thanksgiving. Do they eat turkey or just the stuffing? See, now I put apples in my stuffing. So I know horses would, we used to go out and feed our horses apples. We had, I think I've mentioned this before, we had 26 horses at one time. Now, they weren't all ours, but it was on the ranch that we were buying. And so we were constantly surrounded by horses. And let's see, who else do we have? I think that might be it for those who are showing their names and faces over in the chat room at the moment. And there's more of you here than the numbers declare. So I don't know everybody who's here. If I missed you, it's only because I'm omitting you, but I don't see you here. And we can't spend the whole hour saying hi to people, but it's real easy to take a minute or two when we're live and say hi. So it's good to have you guys here. I appreciate your taking your time to be here. And now it's Thanksgiving Eve. Somebody said to me today, when I said that I wasn't going to pre-record a radio show tonight, and I wasn't going to do one on Odyssey, the owner over at Odyssey said, well, it's okay to take a night off. Just go with your live show because it's a holiday. I said, it's not a holiday, is it? That's tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving Eve. And I'm like, oh, duh. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it is. So Thanksgiving Eve. And I'm looking at this, what Matt Finn was talking about. She wasn't on today, Field. What did she say that pissed you off? Okay, I missed something. There's something in the mix there. If it comes up, I'll know what it's all about. I can fill myself in later. And so, anyway, once again, welcome everybody. I don't know if you can hear that. I have children screaming out in the other room. And I took my kids all today and got them all haircuts. I got my haircut. It's hard to tell anymore because I'm losing so much of it. But the longer it gets, when it's so wispy on top, the more it weighs it down and it shows the, how thin the hair is getting. So I told him take up the sides, take up the back, thin out the top a little. And so, it looks a little better tonight. It looks a little neater tonight. Thought I'd do that for the holiday. And mostly because, while my hair doesn't seem like it gets long anymore, I get shaggy in my loss of it. It still gets shaggy and I got to cut it down. So there you go. It's like, I don't know, it's like having shrubbery across the front yard, taking out the middle ones to put in a sidewalk. You still got the side ones that keep growing. They get shaggy if you don't trim them back. So that's what happens here. There should be a sidewalk right here. And so, well, at least it gets sunburned more. Why, thank you, Delaney. All of you take note of what Delaney said. She said I look dashing and sophisticated. I think it's my cardigan sweater, isn't it? It's the button-up sweater. So that's got to be it. So, but I'm not wearing Argyle socks. I am barefoot in a pair of shoes. So I'm not so sophisticated as I look. Maybe if I get a pipe and I put a pipe in my mouth, I'll look sophisticated. I once had somebody out there that used to like what we do and used to like me and got very disgruntled with me because we had a few words over something, business stuff, way things weren't working the way we were led to believe they were supposed to. And I disinvited him from speaking at our event just because I didn't think he was representing us well anymore. And he was also somebody that was telling us we needed to lose certain people because we didn't want people seeing that we were associating with somebody who wrote books on Western magic and things like that. And I said, you know what? I said, no, I don't think I'm going to have you speak this year. Too many logs have floated downstream under the bridge. Let's just call it quits. But he put up a fake website about us and renamed us with satirical names. I mean, it was I could say halfway brilliantly done, except it's such a waste of time. And he said that the only reason I curled my mustache and smoked a pipe every now and then was so that people would think I look academic. That was his claim. All right, so there you go. I do have cigar. Oh, by the way, I found this was the humidor. It's dusty that Rocky gave me right here. This humidor, and it has all my. Remember the Scotty Rocket cigars? I got a whole bunch of them in that humidor. So I could light one of those up and look academic, couldn't I? But I can't do it in the house. And now that I don't smoke, now that I've had all of 2 or 3 cigarettes in the last almost 90 days, well, let's see, September to October, October to November. No, it's only been 2. No, that's not right. It's been well over 8 weeks since I had the heart attack and I stopped smoking. So what is it since September 20th? Somebody do the math quick. How many weeks have passed? I think it was September 20th, 19th. When I had the heart attack, and I just stopped. I stopped smoking because everybody was riding me. Oh, you got to stop smoking. You got to stop. You don't know what it's doing to your heart. This, and then you got diabetes. You don't know what those two things together are doing to your heart. And they're not unwrong. They're not wrong. But you know what? So I just stopped smoking. And knock that crap off, Captain. You're teasing yourself. Playing with fire. No, I'm not mad because I don't really. To have 2 cigarettes in the last 9 weeks is hardly the stuff of playing. I think, this is my opinion. You and I can talk this out. We can talk it out right now. We can even fight about it. We can even arm wrestle about it. But having a couple of smokes in 9 weeks is not the thing that I feel is teasing myself with smoking. I've lost the taste for it. All I needed was that initial 30 days. They say 30 days to set a habit. I went 30 days without smoking, and I was like, I lit one up, and I was like, eh. I had one. Rocky stopped by last week, and I lit up a smoke with him out on the driveway. So I haven't had one in 8 weeks. I'm going to have one. And I had one other one in there somewhere, and a halfie somewhere in there. You know, I only had a halfie because I took a few puffs and I threw it out. I didn't like it. It doesn't. I've lost my taste for it. And I smoked because I enjoyed smoking. And the only reason I haven't smoked is because I've said to myself, even on those rare occasions, and I haven't had many, those rare occasions where I felt like I wanted to light one up, I said, no, I don't think I'll do it. You know why? If I go out there and have I even had cigarette. Look at this. I just, these are sitting in my art supply drawer right now. I got an old cup sitting in there, and it's got super glue, and it's got some old anchor screws. Oh, and look at that. It's got 3 cigarettes in there. These are Pall Malls. So I got 3 cigarettes sitting in the end of that. Those 3 cigarettes have been there for at least 9 weeks. And I see them almost every day. And you know what? There are times I picked one up and I said, I feel like I want to go have a smoke. I'm put it in my mouth, and I'm going to go light one up. But you know why I didn't? Because I said, if I light that up, I'm just going to want to light up another one. I could never smoke one at a time. And so now that I have decided to not smoke anymore, I just said, if I've decided to not smoke and I start smoking, I'll have a problem with it. If I'm in a social setting and I say, hey, can I have one of those? And I take one and I smoke a halfie, hasn't tempted me to start smoking on a daily basis. So, Matt, I will just say, I love you, my brother, and I love your concern for me. At the same time, I will tell you, if I'm not strong enough to say, I've quit smoking, but it's okay if I have one every now and then. I'm not so weak in my own resolve to say that I won't do it. And by the way, smoking doesn't kill everybody. And something I'm learning too is that my smoking may not have been the thing that affected my heart. They're just concerned that the smoking it has the potential to shut down my blood vessels. So they wanted me to stop because I have diabetes, which also closes up your blood vessels. It does the same thing. And so one thing they found, one of the arteries in my heart that was really closed up almost 4 years ago when they did the heart surgery, is that all the blood vessels have rerouted themselves around the blockage in my artery, around my heart. And so that's why they never replaced that one. That's why they didn't put a stent in, because they said it's not that bad yet. And now they've got the blood flow is almost normal going around that, because what did my body do? My body grew new blood vessels around that blockage. And so it's very interesting how the heart works. Now, probably the worst thing for me than cigarettes was probably donuts or carbohydrates, pasta, high carb stuff, high fatty foods. Those were the things that probably would have killed me before cigarettes. But now I've taken one potentiality out of there by eliminating cigarettes. So having 2 cigars a year isn't going to be the thing that kills me. I can tell you that. This is an exploding cigar. Kevin Olson from Minnesota, how you doing? Good to see you. Watching from Regions Hospital. Are you in the hospital, Kevin, or are you visiting the hospital? I certainly hope you're not in the hospital. I haven't heard a thing, so I don't know what's going on. Matt says, while it perhaps doesn't kill everyone, it definitely isn't good with a heart condition. You got that right. That is truth. And so you got work to do. I got kids to raise. I got an empire to build. I was supposed to have an empire built by 60. and I haven't yet. So I remember telling my former sister-in-law way back in 1982 or 1983, which I would have been 22 or 23. I said, by the time I'm 30, I said I will have an empire. By the time I was 30, I was a creative director in Detroit, but I did not have an empire. So, but thank you, Matt. I appreciate the concern. And I'm not throwing it back in your face or anybody's face, Matt. I'm just saying, for the record, that if I don't have the willpower or the strength to say I can walk away from something, and maybe on periodic occasions revisit that, if I have one cigarette, let's see, I've had 2.5 cigarettes in 9 weeks. So if you do the math on that, that's roughly one cigarette every 4 weeks, or roughly, we're going to say on average, if you look at annual, that's a cigarette a month. So that's 12 cigarettes a year. That's slightly over a half a pack of cigarettes in 1 year. And it all depends on what your lungs are doing in between, in those in between times. So there you go. I don't think I'm overdoing with the cigarettes, but I do have cigars, and I've got them. I don't know how long they'll last in that humidor, plastic wrapped in a humidor, but we'll see. So I've at least got them. Did Kevin ever write back? He's in for the next few days. Kevin, I've got to back up just a little bit and see what's going on. You're in for the next few days at Regions. Can you tell us what's going on? If you can share it with us. Another 2 bites of dust. Diabetic complications, number 4 now. Oh boy. I know what those are like, Kevin. So that's, at least it's not hemorrhoids. So I hope you're doing okay. And hey, come over here. I want to show you something, all of you. And Kevin, you'll like this as well. This is my little girl, Ro. She got her new haircut today. Why don't you stand up here on the rung of the footstool if you can get there? Sure, if you want to. She wanted bangs today. And so we went and got her hair done. And it's a little messy now because she's been playing around. But now she's got bangs.
You're on my foot. You're on my foot.
Sorry.
I'm also getting my hair colored.
There she is. Yeah, she wants to color her hair. And Rainey said today, and I've kind of been against that because she wants weird colors, as far as I'm concerned.
I want blue and pink.
Blue and pink.
It's not a weird color.
So look up the characters from Disney's Descendants. That would be Mal, M-A-L, and Evie from Disney's Descendants.
It would be Mal and Audrey because Audrey's pink
Audrey.
And Mal is...
I don't like Audrey, though. I don't like her pink hair.
It would be Audrey and Evie.
I can handle the really deep, dark, sapphire-y blue.
See that?
That looked really nice.
What is that? That's perfect.
Blue and pink, says Audrey.
Yeah, I want blue and pink.
And ooh, I love Audrey, says Audrey. And pink is out for me. The light blue, I've seen people do that silvery and the light blue. You know what it does? My friend John Ward, his 20-couple-something-year-old daughter, did that to her hair. Lovely, stunning young woman. She showed up in Egypt the last time I was there. She arrived after I did. Oops, I knocked something over.
Ghost?
No, I just did that because I hit the desk and something was leaning on the edge of the desk. And she showed up and she had taken this dark raveny hair and she colored it that light blue and light silver. And she looked 40 years older. And I told her so. I'm sure she appreciated that. So, yeah, she's going to do either the really deep sapphire-y blue or the really deep purpley blue.
Blue and pink.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. Okay, you can go now. I've used you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Rowan. And so she just happened to walk into the room and she got her haircut today. So there's your scrunchie. And so then Ellery had to get her haircut too, and she needed it. Ellery is one of those small children. This is probably more Sunday morning fare, but Ellery is one of those small children who will not brush her hair every day, and she will scream at you if you try to do it, and she'll fight you. And it's always, oh, oh, oh. And I was like, I'm not even touching it, child. And so her hair gets matted in the back. She's got really long, thick, full hair. And so I brought her in, and the woman who was doing her hair today, she didn't get a single negative comment from the child. Worked all fine. Of course, I took some of the, what's the stuff you spray in hair to loosen it? Detangler. And I sprayed some in 2 mornings ago, and I was working for about 20 minutes, just trying to work through her hair and take out where she had knots in it and stuff. And so that helped, but she got it all thinned out. She got it cut shorter, a little shorter. And so children look good. Flynn got a haircut, a lot like mine, except he has a lot more hair than I do. And really thick. And so I told him, shave the sides, taper up the back, and give him the fake part. Shave in about an 1/8 inch wide fake part. So you can just take that hair in the morning and brush it over, and he's good. Even if he's a typical 11-year-old boy and doesn't want to take a shower. So there we go. James's mom was almost 6 foot tall and had hair to her knees. Rainey's hair goes down to like the bottom of her butt cheeks. You can picture that. I can. So she's got long hair. And she always does it up in the big, thick, ropey braids and stuff like that. But that's what I did with my kids today. But I was talking about Kevin, and Kevin's over at Regents Hospital in St. Paul. Kevin, I hope you do well. And over there, I've been there a couple of times. I got to see if I missed anything that you added to the whole thing. Toe bites the dust. Oh, another toe bites the dust. I didn't see the toe in there. I thought it said 1 without my glasses. I got to squint. So lost a toe. I hear that, brother. That's 4. I haven't lost any toes. I got a little neuropathy in my feet, the tingliness and all of that. So I have to be very careful. And I was first diagnosed with diabetes in 2003. So it's been 17 years since I found out I had it. Yeah, feet's where it starts. That's the truth. And while I have feeling in my feet, if you were to sit down and poke me with a pin in certain parts of my feet, I wouldn't feel it at all. But I still have feeling. I can still feel my feet. So I still have to be very careful with them. Let's see. Enough on that. Let's see. Siani says the kids and I will be getting haircuts soon. Steve Clark says I don't have much hair, so I shave it off. I threatened Rainey. I said I'm gonna. It's getting so thin. I said I'm just gonna cut this all off, and I'm gonna shave it. You can see even when I run my fingers through it. You can see. Look at that. That is how thin my hair has gotten. My full head of hair, and so it's just strategic. When I go on the radio, I just okay, it looks all right. And if I don't bend over to look at my notes, you never see my bald spot. So you can tell it's encroaching, though. It's going away. The bald is encroaching. And there's going to be a point where there's nothing left up there. So I had thought of, I said to Rainey, what you can give me for Christmas? Give me a 3-month subscription to that stuff that's supposed to help you revitalize your hair follicles and all of that you wash it with every day. And everybody says it works. It's that newer stuff. And so I might give that a try. See if it regrows some hair. That'd be kind of interesting. But how long do you have to use that? Does your head revert back? Oh, that hair follicle, that hair is going to fall out of that follicle now. Who the hell knows? So Audrey had a pipe in her bathroom burst. Oh, I remember that. That was yesterday. And it's all good now, though. Glad I was home when it happened. Could have been horrible. Yeah, it could have been. And so I'm glad that didn't cause a big problem. Doug's been shaving his head for almost 20 years. So 20 years ago, Doug, I had a full head of thick hair. I had a mane. Ask Kevin Olson. He knew me 20 years ago. So I think he's the only one in this chat room that knew me 20 years ago. I have a lot more hair than Steve Clark. Uh-oh. You're in trouble. Yeah, but do you have a full, hairy, burly chest? I don't. So Doug was 21 and losing his hair. I knew a guy when I was in college. I was 18 years old. The guy was maybe a year ahead of me, and he was wearing a full toque. So one of the football players. So let's see. Is there anything else in here? You guys got anything? There's so much material right here in the chat room that I could pull out. We could do whole shows on some of just your simple statements. Dye the back underside of Rowan's hair, says Delaney. And well, I think what they're going to have to do, if we're going to let her get the really deep, dark sapphire blue, they're going to have to first totally bleach her hair down to bleach blonde, and then recolor it dark and blue. So we'll have to see. You know, I was initially, and you can tell me as parents, those of you who are parents out there, or just your opinions of this thing if you aren't a parent, I look at that and I say, you know what? I think that doing funky shit with your hair, piercings, tattoos, that all should be when you're 18 and older. You go ahead and do all that you want. But right now, when you're 8 or 9 or 10 years old, save it. I'm not for that. Now, Rainey told me yesterday that she said, when I was a kid, she said, I had hair trauma. I grew up with that, meaning she was always told your hair has to be long and never cut your hair. And she got berated for cutting her hair and stuff. And so she grew up and she grew her hair long, and she still wears it long. She wears it very well long. I've seen long hair like Rainey's. It looks horrible. You know, it's all the way you style it, the way you keep it, your attitude. I've seen women with long hair. It's simply parted down the middle, and it drapes down the sides of their face and hangs down to their buttocks. And they don't do anything with it. And it looks horrible. Rainey at least does something with her hair, and it looks great. But she said, look, for the sake of not instilling that fear of doing anything with their hair, why don't you let the kids experiment a little bit? I said, okay, I do have some lines, though. Rowan wanted to try the shaving the side of her head. Now, somebody I know, the very amazing, intelligent, vivacious, stunning Sarah Soderlin, who has joined us for many months last year on the radio, she did that. She shaved one side of her head, but she still has it long in other places and long all over here. And it looks fantastic. It looks good on an adult, mature woman. On a 9-year-old, though, I told her, if you're going to shave your head, I'm going to hold off there. That's my line in the sand. If you want to put bangs, and I don't like bangs, but it's not my hair. To me, it was always a thought that, you know, if a woman has bangs, it's going to make her face, it's going to shorten her face instead of making it look longer. And so that cutting that line across there is going to shorten the face, make her face look chubbier. And so that was one of my things that I was against. No, that's my thing. And so now letting her get bangs today and maybe put some color in it, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to let her shave the side of her head. So, what do you think, Rainey?
I think you smell like farts.
Come on over here and tell me that. Come and say hi to everybody. This is not. Whoa! I almost fell off my stool. Whoa! Whoa!
Is this a comedy show now? What the hell?
Oh, pratfalls. Really?
Jeez.
Let me turn this a little bit. There you go. There she is.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hi. It's Rainey, the hooded woman.
Yeah, it's cold in the house.
Boom,
I'm
boom,
cold
boom,
today.
boom.
I'm cold and tired.
It's cold outside.
Yeah.
So she was out distributing leaves.
Leaves.
Wreaths. Wreaths.
Are you drinking tonight?
I'm not drinking.
What's this med over here you're taking?
No, I'm not taking that. That's just an empty. That's an empty. So but I could be drinking. It's Thanksgiving Eve. I could have a shot of scotch while we're sitting here,
Yeah.
and I just might.
Gross.
So you know what? This is normally break time, 9:30, my time. So Rainey's going to be our break. She's going to tell you, just take 2 minutes and tell you about our little ghost adventure and where we did that, what that's all
Why
about.
do you make me always
You're
talk?
on. I'm so glad you came in
I'm
right
so
now.
glad
when
I
you
came
did.
in too. I was gonna sit at my desk and check my
Yeah,
stuff
here.
before I went to bed.
I'm just going to go over here and I'm just going to grab a shot glass and
Yeah.
just see where I have my. Oh, my shot glasses are all closed up in here.
Oh, you're gonna
No, here they are.
make a mess then trying to get to them.
Nope, they're right here.
I don't know. Scotty just told you guys pretty much about everything, right? I don't know. It was a fun time. You guys gotta go stay in Stillwater at the Water Street Inn. Check it out. It's a fun place. Good people.
Yeah,
Yeah, Audrey, the hotel it's super beautiful. It's really pretty in there.
it is.
It's nice. And then they have the brand new part that they just remodeled and they've opened this year. So you can either stay in the old style. You got, I think it's 1890 is the very old part. The 1960 they added, and then in 2019 they added some more. Ooh, got your Jameson.
I do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It
it was cool. What else you got to say?
I don't know. I'm tired. I think I'm still a little drained from everything.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Do you feel that the ghost hunting drains you at all?
Yes. Well, that and then the staying out late. And I don't think we would have woke up in time for checkout if the electrician people weren't doing work on a room down the hallway, because that's what woke me up at 9:36.
And I woke up at my regular time. I woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I said, I don't have to go anywhere. And so I turned over and I went back to sleep, and I woke up when she woke me up at 9:30.
Yeah.
So thereabouts.
Yeah, and it wasn't a nice wake up. It was like, holy, wake up, we gotta go. We gotta get packed and go.
Audrey says the audio of the lady humming was incredible. It was an incredible experience to hear that.
I see the one you posted. I don't hear anything in the one you posted because I was playing that for the ladies at the shop today. I couldn't hear anything on it.
They couldn't hear anything
They
either?
couldn't hear anything either.
Well, it's there. I've had 5 people at least write me and say I hear the humming.
Yeah, I don't hear the humming on that, but I heard it on the stuff you did on the computer, and obviously it was there.
Yeah.
So I heard it in the middle of the night. I almost wish I would have had enough energy to get up and go kind of hunt it down, to walk upstairs and check the 3rd floor and make sure it wasn't something else. What are people sending you? Jesus, Scotty.
Thank you, Barry Chad. I just went over to my Facebook page to look up the link, and that actually looks like you.
That's great.
Well, I'll have to look at that later, Barry Chad. Barry Chad sending me personal.
Jeez, Louise, come on now. Inappropriate.
She doesn't care.
I don't really care.
Here, let me see. Let me find that link. Here it is. So I'm going to click on this and then hit that so it doesn't play on here. I'm going to copy this link for you all. And those of you who heard last night and haven't had a chance, go to this link. What's all the extra stuff in that?
I don't know.
I can cut all of that. What is that?
Because it's Facebook, it probably linked it to the
there
Facebook
you go.
link first.
Yeah. Go to that link I put up right there. And let me see. Let me make sure that works. Yeah, it works. Okay, go to that link and you can hear what we're talking about. You don't need headphones, Doug. Turn your volume way up and be very quiet and listen. You're going to hear the white noise, and it's not going to rise much above the white noise. So you're going to hear the through the whole thing, but you got to listen through the white noise, and you're going to hear a lady humming. And it picks up more toward like the last 8 seconds of the 30 seconds that are up. So go ahead and listen to that, and you can all see what you think. But happy birthday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving. Thursday and birthday is supposed to be Thanksgiving. That's the way my brain's working right now. So happy Thanksgiving to you too, Sean, and everybody else. So there you go. That was our break. So Mom will be out in a minute. This is not a Sunday morning, so you got to stay quiet. All right. So I can let you go.
All right.
Go do your stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna go check my
Not the
stuff
way
and go
people
bed.
always get out of conversations. They don't want to have you. You can tell they don't want to be in them. Well, I should probably let you go. It's like bullshit. You want to go.
Probably go check my email.
So I'm probably going to let you go now.
Watch that video Mary Chad sent.
I'm going to probably not make you talk anymore on the radio.
Yep.
I love you.
Love you too.
I'll see you in a while.
Bye,
Oh,
guys.
I'm touching her butt as it's going by. Can we shut that door too so I don't get TV noise, please?
And I'm gonna back in. I gotta go see what she needed.
All right. Rainey, look at your messages on FB, says Doug. All right, folks, this is for you. This is for Thanksgiving. Now, I am a single malt Highland Scotch drinker, and Jameson is an Irish blend, but I'm going to drink a toast to you all tonight. Let's see. If I can get it open. That is my bad hand. I've got that stupid locking finger that wants to lock on me, and I got to get that fixed. There we go. Warmed it up. All right. And this is my shot glass from Williamsburg. No, this is Fort Ticonderoga. Fort Ticonderoga, upstate New York. Your colonial, your British Army up there. So let's do ourselves a nice wee dram. All right, here we go, folks. All right, to you, this is to Thanksgiving. This is to remembering what it was supposed to be, what it isn't, and what it should be for us. So thank you all for being here all the time. And this is a toast for you. Here we go. Ooh. Little Jameson. That's good. So if you got them, tip them back. And so I like my Scotch neat. Now this isn't Scotch. This is whiskey. This is Irish whiskey. It's a blend, but it's distilled, matured, and bottled in Ireland. It's an Irish whiskey. It's the Bow Street Distillery, Dublin 7, Ireland. There it is. So that was good. All right, wet my whistle. So there you go. Cheers to you all. James, he's had bottles. He's had his diaper changed. I don't know who you're talking about there, James, but that just popped up right in front of my eyes. And let's see. Roger, good to see you. Barbie D, good to see you. Glad to have you in here tonight. And Barry, he says, sorry, Rainey.
No worries.
I'll watch that a little later. At first, I thought that was Rainey, and I thought Rainey sent me a video. I went, oh, wait, that's not from you. So, anyway, thank you. Sean just took a shot of Kraken. Release the Kraken. Yeah, it's good when it hits the lips. It's very true. I love Jameson, but I bought myself some Kraken rum for Thanksgiving. So, what else we got? Let's see. What did we miss? Well, we're talking holy gasoline, says Field Guy. I have lemonade, says Barbie D. Is it hard lemonade or regular lemonade? We toast tonight to the Republic. It's ours if we can keep it. There you go, Matt. Indeed. There's a lot on that stuff, and I'm not saying anything right now. I'm not going to get into talking about anything about election stuff until there's a little more revealed and we can talk about it. And we'll see where we go. I just think it's going to be it'll be a very interesting 2021 if indeed this election got overturned. It'd be very interesting, wouldn't it? So, and we'll leave it at that for tonight. James says he hears a couple of randomly timed taps. Are you talking about on the video? That could be also just us moving. We were sitting in bed, And you can hear the bed creak a little bit if I move and I tried to sit up when I was making that recording. So yeah, the next 3 weeks are going to be interesting. So go listen to that sound clip, see what you think. There's definitely a woman humming, singing in there, and it's I had somebody listen to one of the other clips and said that, and because what I did, Rainey and I are talking in the middle of it. I could probably put up the whole thing, enhancing the quiet sounds where you can hear the singing. But Rainey and I are talking in there where she gets up and she opens the main door to look into the hallway, and
Yeah, because there was footsteps down the hallway. That's what made me.
she heard footsteps going down the hall, which I didn't pick up as far as I could tell on the video sound, that audio clip. So there's about 3.5 minutes with the singing in it, and some sections louder than others. This section happened to have the one you listened to for the link I just put up. You can hear it's mostly the final 8 seconds, the final third. Let's put it that way. You hear a few more notes and a progression. Somebody that is an investigator, a paranormal investigator, pulled that clip apart, and he said, he says, I definitely hear singing. He said, I listened to it about 15 times. And he says, I definitely hear singing. And he says, it's definitely a tune. It's a sad tune, but it's broken up enough that I can't make out what the tune is. Now, remember, she had asked Rainey, or had told Rainey or asked Rainey that Rainey got the impression that she wanted to hear that third verse of Loch Lomond. And so we sang it in the room. And then I don't know if that's what she's singing. And I will say again, if she indeed sang Loch Lomond on that clip, if that's what it works out to be after really examining that recording, that would be phenomenal. So there you go. Doug says he doesn't know where to start to investigate. I need to take a trip to one of your investigations. You know, Doug, it's always good to not do it alone, I think, especially if you're just starting. I just think that that's wise. It's like in anything, if you're going to dig into anything, it's usually good to have some backup. It's usually good to have, I mean, if you're physically going somewhere to look into something, reading about something, studying, watching videos, that's different. You could take school courses on your own and learn that way. I think the best way to actually engage in it, though, is to engage with other people, or at least another person, at least for starters. So let's see. Let's give our hardworking California dreaming beach bum and sis, Audrey, a hand. Always working her tail off for the cause. And so there you go, Audrey. I toast to you all, my beautiful brothers and sisters. I toast to you too, Scotty. My Scotty, and our lifelong friendship, and our many adventures. Skal. I don't use that one. I use Slanche. There's my ring on the Jameson bottle. So let's see. Siani Reese says lies. What's lies? Siani? Doug Stack says, oh, I know, field guy. I'm not sure what you're relating to when you say that. Oh, you've got an asterisk by it, so it must have been something else. I thought it sounded like my Bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and I didn't hear enough of it. It might have been. Because, you know, those words, Rainey brought up the words, you know, the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond is in the song. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. It's possible. So, let's see what else we got going on. You know, I was going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to pick up on this age thing and growing older and yada yada about aging and all of that stuff. But I think we'll skip that for tonight because we're kind of well into talking about some other things. But I'll give you this. Here's a couple of statistics for you about growing older. And I started this on my birthday on Monday. But the markers of old age, and this is the percentage of people saying that a person is old when he or she ... turns 85. 79% of people polled think that. This is asked of 3,000 adults in this survey. So The percentage of people saying that a person's old is when they can't live independently. 76% of people said that. Can't drive a car. 66% said that. Turns 75. 62% said that's when somebody's old. 51% said somebody's old when they frequently forget familiar names. And or when they find his or her health is failing is 47%. 45% of people think somebody's old when they have trouble walking up the stairs. I had trouble walking up the stairs when I was 18. I tripped once. So I was drunk once when I was 24 and I tripped up the stairs and fell down on my back. That make me old? Let's see. 42% of people polled they're growing old when their bladder control problems begin. When they're no longer sexually active, said 33%, 1/3 of people polled. Turns 65 is the mark of old age, said 32% of people. Retires from work, said 23%. Has grandchildren, said 15%. Has gray hair, said 13%. I will tell you this, I had gray hairs in my head when I was 26 years old. And a couple of little flecks in my temple. And that's when it started. And so it started. And so stairs are bad, says Field Guy. They can be, yeah. Field Guy says, I actually saw the Battle of 1812, all the ghosts once. Well, that's interesting. They all join you for coffee or something, Field Guy? Or would they stop by and say, hi, Field Guy, we're the ghosts of 1812. Merry Christmas. What did they do? Where'd you see these, Field Guy? It's interesting. January 8th, 1815, Andrew Jackson beat the British at the Chalmette battlefield. My hometown. Oh, so it's your hometown. So what, did you see all these soldiers marching by? A ghostly horde? Field Guy, where'd you see these guys? Yeah, Steve Clark had gray hair at 23. It's all different. Field Guy says, I wish. Let's see. Did you see the recent YouTube video at Gettysburg? I did not. Siani says sober. And again, that's a correction, so I'm not sure what you're relating back to there. Oh, I trip up the stairs sober. Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? Roger Rabbit, Carly and I feel old now. We're 32. Sleep deprivation will slowly take you down. You know, it's a known fact psychologically, Roger and everybody else, that when you are young and don't feel well or your health is bad, you feel older. You feel old. And when you're old and you feel great and your health is good, you feel younger. That's just kind of the way that works. I said over the last couple of years, I'm older. I feel older than I've ever been. It's like I said, you know, about a year ago at this time, I was like, I'm at zero. I felt I was at zero. What's the word I'm looking for? I use it all the time, the phrase. My life felt at zero. My life, not energy. There's a phrase for it. And I thought, this is it. This is as good as it's going to get. And it's not going to get any better. So that was a year ago, and I feel a hell of a lot better now than I did then. Doug is going to send something to me. What are you going to send to me, Doug? Oh, the YouTube video. Yeah, send me a link. Shoot me that link. Audrey says, I've seen 2 ghost battles, one in Mississippi and the other in the French Quarter. That's interesting. Let's see. No time for old age, says buried Chad. I refuse to age anymore. See, but though that's a state of mind. That's like what I said yesterday. People always say, you're only as old as you feel, or you're as young as you feel. You're young as whatever energy you put out. And then to an extent, that's true. But we've come up with these cliches in our culture that say, oh, you're only as old. Age is just a number. But you know what? You can say that when you're 72, and you know what? You're still 72 years old. You're not 19 anymore. And I don't care what good health you're in, you find me a 72-year-old that can do the things he did, that can go out and play tackle football like he did when he was 19, and I'll eat my shorts. You just aren't going to find it. You know why? Because our bodies age. There is an aging process. You look in the mirror and you can tell you're older. We're all growing older. We're talking about, when you talk about the way you feel, that's all state of mind stuff. My state of mind, how much does my state of mind control the way my body is? I have found that now, for me, in the last couple of years, my body drove down my state of mind. And I got very depressed and very discouraged about things. And therefore, my physical activity grew lower. And I started to feel old because I was getting old. And I was getting old because I was feeling old. It's a symbiotic thing going on there. But I think the inverse is workable too. There are days now where I can, Rainy and I'll go to the store and I can walk at a clip and I have to slow down and wait for her. 6 months ago, I couldn't do that. Now, is my state of mind, as I have found that my body is more physically capable of doing that, you know what that does? Makes me feel younger. Makes me feel healthier. So not the picture of perfect health, still working on trying to do that, but it makes me feel better. Steve says, please don't tell my body and still do stuff like I did at 23 and I'm 65. There you go. Yeah, we can still do stuff. Yeah, I've said that. I can still do stuff. 2 weeks after my open heart surgery, I was out in the yard chopping down trees with an axe in our woods. Now, I took it kind of careful, but I was doing that with my son. You know why? I could do that. I did that when I was 23 years old, too. Yeah, it's doing. Doing keeps you young, I think. And not doing makes you old. But sometimes the not doing is the product of inability or the perceived inability. Or let's put it this way. There were times over the last year I was all alone in the house and I had to go upstairs for something. And I think I mentioned this before in a different context. I stood at the bottom of the stairs for 10 minutes staring at the stairway because it hurt to raise my leg to start walking up the stairs. That kind of activity happening to you does two things for you. It makes you realize, number one, the one side is it'll make you think, I can't do these things anymore. And you start to feel older. You start to feel worn out. Your quality of life, that's the phrase I was looking for earlier. Your quality of life drops. But if you can work through that and get to a point where you're able to start doing that again, you will find your quality of life starts to increase. So the mental, the emotional is definitely linked to the physical. And it's what you do with both. And they both play off of each other. Field guy hasn't lived in a house with stairs in 30 years. Come on over to our place. We'll give you a room upstairs. Let's see. Field guy said I was in perfect health at 18. And when I renew my ID, they ask, do you want to still be a donor? I say yes. And there you go. Yeah. Barbie D, I don't know if I can be a donor or not. I think I can. Last time I renewed my license, they asked me. At the hospital, they asked me if I wanted to donate organs. I said, why am I dying? I said, no. So,
decide on whether or not they want to save you.
Yeah, yeah. Do we save them or not? Based on whether or not you're going to give your organs. So, you're going to give your organs? You could harvest those, if you died. So, let's see. So anyway, age. I was going to talk a little bit about age, but that's an interesting thing about age right there. That whole getting older thing. Let's see. Did I have another? That's a little more. That chart's a little harder to interpret just verbally. How old we are. The gap between how old we are and how old we feel. Now, these are averages for the actual age versus felt. How old you feel age. And let's see what the lines mean. Actual age is this line. The age that you feel is this line. And they're saying right around age 24, everybody kind of feels and is the same age. 30 to 49, that gap starts to widen. You feel around 35 when you're 30 to 49. At age 50 to 64, the gap widens again. You might be, I don't know what age this is. This looks like about 55 years old, and the felt age is 45. And so on, and it goes on. 82, it ends up people feel 71 at age 82. You know, and ask a young person. Get an 82-year-old in front of a young person who's 18, and this 82-year-old person says, I feel 71. And the 18-year-old's going to say, you're both old geezers, 71 or 82. So it's age. So Field Guy says, when I hit 35, my body started to break down. Roger says, I mentally feel younger, but physically feel older than my actual age. Yeah, I understand that, Roger. You know, when I met Rainey, let's see, that was back in 2004 when we first did a little bit of hanging out. And then it was 2005 where we really started digging each other and hanging out. I was 44. I turned 44 in November of 2004. And I turned 45 the next year, of course. And so I was 44 when Rainey and I hit it off. I had people at that time thinking I was 30 to 35 years old. And I was doing a lot of stuff. I was active. I was in pretty decent shape. And more recently, Rainey and I will go out a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, after the surgeries and stuff. We go out and get something to eat. And people would look, young teenage waitresses would look at Rainey, not me. They'd look at Rainey and say, would your dad like some coffee too? And I'm like, hey, what? I'm sorry. I'd reach over and grab her boob and say, should I have coffee, honey? And so, you know, there are points in time where you look older. And so I get you, Roger. There's times where I feel younger than I look, and there's times where I've looked a lot younger than I am. So it all catches up. I think it all evens out one of these days. So Audrey says, I was in the Sutton Gallery on Royal one night, and the building was on fire. I went screaming, running downstairs. Fire, fire. There was no fire. The building burnt down 200 years before. Oh, wow. That's pretty interesting. You said you were a basket case for that whole month while you stayed in the French Quarter. And Audrey said she's had so many stories, some I won't even say out loud. Great experience. You'll have to tell me some of those you won't say out loud. I want to hear those, Audrey. Those are the stories that you want to hear. Sean Bowden says, I'm younger than most 45-year-olds. Good deal, man. I was too. I was the same way. So, and now that I'm 60, you know, it'd be nice to look 35 or 40 again. I'd like to be as young and vivacious as my wife, who's pushing 41. Audrey says 51, and I feel like I'm 25. And again, how we feel is linked to our mental state or emotional state. We'll talk about this stuff tomorrow, I think, on tomorrow's show. And by the way, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Let's deal with that little bit of business because it's 9:59. Supposed to be done in a minute. I hate walking over Jimmy Johnson's show, but we'll go a few more minutes. But tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I think we'll probably do a live show unless I record earlier in the day. That'll give people a chance to settle down. It'll be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night when we all are settling down anyway. I don't know how you all are with your family gatherings, but most of the time as I was growing up, by 10 o'clock, everybody was done. And tryptophan, comas, and everything. So tomorrow night, I'm going to do a live show again. We'll do it live like this because it's the holiday. And we'll just catch any stragglers. If you got nothing going on, Thanksgiving, come on over. You know, if I'm here tomorrow, my wife might take the kids up to her mom's, and I generally don't go up there for Thanksgiving. But if I'm here alone tomorrow, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll throw up a couple of live streams during the day just to check in with everybody. Anybody who's around and wants to listen, or you don't have anywhere to go or anybody to talk to. And we'll maybe go live tomorrow. So definitely tomorrow at 9 o'clock live. Let's see. Who shows a rerun tonight, Captain? You're good. Tonight? Oh, Jimmy's show is a rerun tonight. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Okay. Yeah, I hate going over friends' shows, spilling over onto their shows. It's a courtesy thing. So, nothing we've ever talked about. I just don't like to do it. I would hate it if Jimmy felt okay going over my show. So whenever I've gone over Jimmy's show, I always try to apologize. Hey, I ran a little over. Didn't mean to, because some of our audience overlaps. So I don't want to create a problem for anybody. If I've got a friend who does radio and we both share some of the same listeners, I'm going to do my utmost to respect that other person and say, look, I'm not going to go over on your time. Even if my audience is more or my audience is smaller. It's a courtesy thing. That's what friends do for friends. Especially, and that's a professional courtesy that we do. So, reruns might be different. So, what's anybody want to talk about? If we're going to go over, it's now 10:01. If we're going to go over for a few minutes and anybody wants to talk about anything, what's on your mind? Spill it over in the chat room. Good. Roger says count Carly and I in for tomorrow. Fantastic. So I will probably be here all day tomorrow. I might be doing some painting and stuff. I tend to not do a lot of festivities with my wife's family for various reasons. And I've got my reasons. And okay, good to know, Michelle. Thank you. And hi, Michelle. How you doing? So I walk this fine line of not wanting to hurt my wife's feelings or to step on her stuff, but there's things her family wouldn't go out of their way to do for me or do with me. So, you know, I think there's kind of a mutual, you know, my wife is the only thing that links us all. So, let's see. Crawfish time is almost upon us, says Doug. It's been many years since I've had crawdads. So, come down to Louisiana, he says. So, what's boobies? Where did I see boobies? Barry Chad. I hear down there in Louisiana, they call that sucking tail. So, I remember we got served a big platter of crawdads down in New Orleans many years ago when I was there. And it was a heaping mound. And they showed us how to eat them. You just crack and suck. So, there you go. And I heard it was the tail, not the head. Oh, well. So, it says, this message is held for review. Oh, that was Field Guy. I know, any opportunity to get as dirty as we can or as close to dirty as we can. I get it. I know how it goes. So, there you go. That's pretty much all I've got for tonight. Roger says, I respect that you care that much about your friends. A certain person before started doing that to you. Yeah, before, and it was making me upset to see that happening all the time. A year or so ago. Yeah, I know. And I remember prior to that happening, that was a friend that I said, hey, I said, let's get our times straight, because this other person kind of launched at different times. And I said, let's get our time straight, since we're all Rocky and you and I, we're all doing shows that line up. Let's choose an hour and make sure. And so we kind of lined up a schedule that was never adhered to. And so it's a respect issue. It's a respect issue, or it's a self-worth issue. Maybe not self-worth. A self issue. Let's just leave it at the one word. It's a self issue. If I feel I'm more important than somebody else, especially my other friends in broadcasting, it doesn't matter to me if I step on their time slots or not, because I'm more important to me. So that's the way I see it. That's my opinion. And so there it is. The parish, yea, you right. I have no idea what that means. So field guide, do you eat boiled peanuts, or is that not a NOLA thing? Nolans thing. Well, thank you, Doug. And I think we're about wrapping it up, folks. So it's 10:05. You can go listen to Jimmy's show, Beyond Reality Radio. You can go listen to some other show. You can go watch TV. You can go do anything you want, but can't stay here. There's nothing else going on here tonight. And so I want to thank you for being here. I like doing a live show better than doing a recorded show. Maybe I don't teach as much, so I like to communicate with you guys. But as we get into the flow of doing a live show, which is coming very soon, I keep saying that, I know, but there's a lot of things coming soon. There's a whole bunch of stuff right on the horizon that I haven't launched yet that we're going to be getting into. Go check out my Etsy page. See some of the new stuff we put up just in the last couple of days. And a lot more new stuff coming. So get some good garments, get some stuff, get the stuff you like. And that's all I got to say about that. And I think that's all. Not too much more. So there's the long goodbye, the Minnesota goodbye, as they call it, even though I'm across the border in Wisconsin. I lived in Minnesota for too long to not engage in the long Minnesota goodbye. And so now's the time that we're saying goodbye. If I was in Minnesota, I'd be bringing up, so what are you doing for a new hot dish? You know, did your aunt bring up a new hot dish? You know, before we go, maybe we should talk about hot dish. And then we could stand for 20 more minutes and talk about hot dish and goulash and all that other good stuff, you know. And if we did it with a proper Minnesota accent, I'd be talking like those farmers out in Litchfield, you know, out west of here. They just start getting more toward the Dakotas. You know, they all kind of talk like that, and they're kind of like, hey, you know, I'm really glad we got the corn in this year time, because, you know, the snow's going to be early this year, and winter's going to be long and hard. And I think if we had waited another week, we might not have gotten the crops in. So the corn's been growing really good out here in Litchfield, don't you know? So, but I'm not from out western Minnesota. So, folks, you have a good night. You have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Watch this channel. I'll throw up some announcements if I'm going to go live. Even if it's off the spur of the moment out of my ass, I might just throw up a quick link that says, hey, in 15 minutes, we're going live. And give it kind of a timer, like a premiere. And that'll give you a little bit of notice. So if you're free and you want to jump on, we'll do that tomorrow. Unless my arm gets twisted and I end up going with Rainey up to her family's. So could be at Carly's parents. So goodbye. Start the car to leave, and it runs out of gas before you make it back to the car to finally leave. Oh, man. Yeah, I've only done that once. But I have done that. That's why I know what that's like. So, all right, everybody. Like Michelle says, be well, friends. Glad to have you here. Glad you were here. Glad you took your time to spend the time with me. And I will see you tomorrow, one way or the other. So, should I live so long? All right, guys, have a good night and a good Thanksgiving. Good night and goodbye.